Hey everybody, it has been a hot minute since making the last YouTube video and I'm really excited to be back. Just a couple things that are changing. As you can tell in the background, things look a little bit different and sparse. We're in the process of making a full studio outside of the house. So for me in here, it's kind of funny because it's all empty. Obviously it's still under construction. It's kind of like echoey in here and really quiet. I can't hear my kids playing in the background. You're not going to be hearing my dog making little clicky clacks as he walks across the floor. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm really excited to show you guys what it looks like when it's all done. But anyways, enough about me. I'm just excited to be out here. Today we're going to be making a really fun Pokemon pattern. So we're going to be doing Totodile because of the new Pokemon game that just got released. He's one of the starters again. So we're going to be making him. How fun! Let's get started. So here is everything that we're going to need to make him. We have 3 different colors, a blue, a red, and a yellow. We're going to be using, I use an 8mm crochet hook with my Bernat blanket yarn. You can always size down if that's too big for you. I just stitch really tight. We also have some 12mm safety eyes. We have a darning needle, some stitch markers, scissors, and some fluff. Let's get going. Okay, so we are going to start in the blue color. We're going to start on the head. So let's get going on a magic ring. So I do that by circling it around my finger to an X, insert, pull that tail through just like this, and secure with a chain. Okay, I also like to pull this little tail, just kind of pull it out where it wants to be. We're going to secure that tail a little bit later. Okay, but for right now we have our magic circle. So we're going to start with 8 single crochet. Okay, and we will pull that snug. Now round 2, we're going to do an increase 8 times. So increase in all of the stitches. I can see that my camera's shifting on me here. There we go. That should be better. I think. We'll see as we go. Okay, round 3. We're going to do a single crochet 1 and then increase and repeat that all the way around. Okay, now before we start round 4, I'm just going to go ahead and secure my yarn tail here from the beginning. So I do that by putting it on the needle and basically just threading it back through round 1. So continuing in the same direction that it's already going, basically just looping that yarn tail back around on itself. And then you don't have to worry about that magic ring ever coming undone. Okay, so I went around one more time. I'm gonna leave the tail there, it's just gonna be on the inside. And let's get going on round 4. So round 4 starts with a single crochet 1. Okay, now we're going to be doing something, I call it a decrease 3. Basically, instead of decreasing across 2 stitches, you're going to decrease across 3. So you may have a different technique for decreases than I do, and that's totally fine. So if you prefer to do it a different way, go right ahead. I do my decrease 3 by going under the first stitch, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, and then I'm going to go into the next stitch, pull up, and next stitch and pull up. So I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 4, and that is my decrease 3. When I come around the next time and work into it, I'll show you again a little bit later, I'm going to insert into this second set of loops. So you can see the top one you'd normally go into here, right? And then the second one down here. But I'll show that again to you when we get to the next round. So now we're going to do single crochet 2. And we're going to do another decrease 3. So I'll show you guys again. Into the first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1. And then get into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and the next stitch, pull up a loop. So I have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through. And you can see as we're working around, those decrease 3s are what are creating those edges, like the square snout. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and single crochet 4. Another decrease 3. So that's across those 3 stitches again. Oops. Okay, single crochet 2. Decrease 3. And then single crochet 3 into the last stitches there. So you should have something that looks like this. It looks quite square now, which is kind of neat because we didn't start off with like a square magic circle, for example, but we've turned the circle into a square shape. So kind of neat. We're going to do round 5, and that's just single crochet around. And when we work into those decreased 3 stitches, if you did it the same way that I did mine, you are going to go into not the top there, where you would normally insert. You're going to go 1 further down. Okay, that's where we kind of created that fake stitch when we yarned over and pulled through that one. And everything is seamless and there's no gaps. Okay, so I'll show you one more time when we get to the next one. So again, you're gonna want to insert into this one that has the gap. Don't do it. Go to the next one down. Okay, that eliminates that gap and everything is seamless. Okay. So do that for all of your decreases. Okay, round 6, we're going to single crochet 3. do an increase. So an increase is just 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Single crochet 1, increase, single crochet 3, increase, single crochet 1, and an increase, and single crochet 4. Okay, now in round 5, we're going to do some more increases again. We're going to start with a single crochet. Sorry, we're in round 7. Did I say 5? We're in round 7 right now. We're going to start with a single crochet 5, is what I meant to say. And then an increase. Single crochet 1, increase, single crochet 3, increase, single crochet 1, increase, and then single crochet 6. Okay, so we're kind of looking like this now. So we're starting to kind of build up the face here. We're going to go into round 8, so that single crochet around. Tried something new today with my yarn. Normally I'm just kind of trying to hold the ball of yarn on, I usually do these videos on my kitchen table, and normally I'm trying to balance keeping the yarn on the table and not having it fall off and everything. Anyways, for this video, since I have more space, I actually just put like a giant box, it was like giant polyfill boxes, it's empty, and I just threw the yarn in there, kind of like a ginormous yarn ball, and it is so much less stressful using that to try to like get my yarn out as I go compared to trying to balance everything on my lap and on my busy table and everything. I think this polyfill box is going to be a permanent installation in the new studio. All right, so now we're moving on to round 9. So we're gonna do a big ledge right up the front of the forehead here. So first let's start single crochet 7. And then we're gonna do 8 increases. It's gonna feel really awkward, but I promise they'll fit. lost count as I was going there. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, 8, perfect. And then 9 single crochet at the end. Okay, round 10 is we're just going to single crochet around. This is what it kind of looks like now, so you can tell we built up a nice ledge for the face. Okay, now we're going to do something, I call it an increase 3. Just like the decrease 3, we decreased across 3 stitches. We're going to have 3 stitches worked into 1. So a traditional increase is 2 worked into the same. That's 1, 2, and add a third one. Okay, so 3 stitches into 1 stitch. Then we single crochet 7. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do another increase 3. So 3 single crochet worked into 1 stitch. Okay, and then single crochet 12. Those little increase 3s are going to become those like little ridges for the eyes. All right, so I'm just getting a little bit toasty. Unzip a little bit. It's cold in the shop, but then I'm also under like fluorescent lighting, so it's kind of like it's a weird combination. Okay, so we are going to go to round 12. We're gonna do another single crochet 11, get us back to that eye ridge. And then we're going to do a decrease 3. So right now we're at that increase 3. We're going to decrease across all 3 of them. So remember how we did that? So we insert into the first one, yarn over, pull through to the next stitch, pull up a loop, next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all of them. Okay, we're going to do a regular decrease into the next stitch. I do my decreases kind of like the same way that I just did that decrease 3. You do your decrease however you'd like. I like this technique because it gets rid of all the gaps. So I insert into one hook or one stitch, losing my train of thought here. Yarn over, pull up a loop. I yarn over and pull through one. And then I insert into the next. Pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through all 3. And then when you're coming around to this decrease on the next round, you're going to insert not into this really gappy loop here, but you're going to insert into kind of like that one fake stitch underneath, just like we did with the decrease 3, and it'll get rid of all the gaps. But I'll show that to you again in the next round. So now we're going to do a single crochet 3. And then the decrease. So insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. Into the next loop, or next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. And now we're at the next increase 3, so now we're going to do a decrease 3. Lots of finicky shaping going on here. Okay, and then we're going to single crochet 12. You can see we've got nice little bubbles going on here. Round 13, we're going to start bringing the face down and decreasing into that like round back of the head. So we're going to start with a single crochet 3. Decrease, however you like to do your decreases. Single crochet 4. Did I just do 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. And then we're going to do another decrease 3. Okay, single crochet 5. It starts in that decrease, the regular decrease that we just did. So if you did it my way, don't insert into that big gappy hole there. Move into right underneath it where we created that fake stitch with the yarn over pull through. And then you can see there that we have no gaps. You actually can't even really see it at all. The way that we've created that fake stitch, it just looks like a regular single crochet down here. Okay, so single crochet 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one goes into that decrease. Okay, decrease 3. Single crochet 5. Regular decrease. And single crochet 3. with all those decrease threes and increase threes, maybe some of you guys have learned some new stitches today, so that's kind of fun. And now we've got this going on, so the shaping looks really good. Now we're going to do single crochet 2 and then decrease and repeat that all the way around. We are almost at the end of the head. Okay, now I'm going to go just one more round so that I can start stuffing and place the safety eyes at the same time. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Round 15 is single crochet 1 and then decrease. And repeat that all the way around. Okay, so we only have one more round to go. I'm gonna go ahead and just pull this out for a minute so that we can do some shaping with the stuffing and putting our eyes in. All right, so I've got my eyes here. I've seen some people do some beautiful eye embroidery on these Pokemon type things because the Pokemon eyes are very anime looking. I don't have the skill set, so I use safety eyes. So I'm using my 12mm. These ones are going to go between rounds 9 and 10. So counting from round 1 at the magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So round 9 is the one that has all of those increases, 8 of them in a row. Okay, so I find my 2 center increases here. 1, 2, those are my center, okay. One more, and then I find the one over here, okay. So 2 center, over 1, and I'm gonna put it right in the middle of that increase. Same thing on this side, okay. So 2 center increases, 1 over, right in the middle of those increases, and they're gonna go right there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and secure those. Okay, 1 and 2. There we go. We have eyes. Go ahead and stuff them now. So right down to the snout first. I don't generally stuff these too firm because they are meant to be like a cuddly toy, but I obviously still want the head to maintain its shape, especially because we did a lot of shaping with stitches around the eyes and everything. So is a soft firmness. Does that make sense? It's kind of what I'm going for. Okay, we're getting there. And we're just gonna go right between the eyes a little bit more. It's kind of gappy up there. Okay, so that is feeling pretty good. I'm going to do the last row and then probably add just a little bit more stuffing at the end. So our last round is going to be round 16, and that is just decrease around. Get right down to 6 stitches. Okay, go ahead, cut yourself a yarn tail. I give myself a couple inches, maybe about 10 inches. And we will just do like a chain one to secure, so pull that yarn through. And tighten. Okay, we're good. I am gonna add more fluff. Just to keep the shape around the back of the head. Knew there was a pocket. There we are. Wasn't feeling right. There we go. Okay, now grab your needle and we will sew this shut. So how we do that is we go on to the next stitch here than where we fastened off. So this one, if you did decreases like me, you've got these, you know, like the gappy bar and then the one right underneath it. So I'm going to insert into both of them just in this front loop only. Okay, if you didn't do decreases like mine and you just have one, you can just go through under the top. Okay, so I'm gonna go through from the top to the bottom, down, and the next stitch from the bottom to the top. And just rotate all the way around. And then pull it snug. Okay, and that's what you're left with. So now to secure it, I'm going to weave it just like I did with the magic ring. I'm going to weave it all the way around in a circle again through that closure. Just kind of picking up where these bars were kind of put together. There's like 3 clusters of these, I don't know, 2 stitches, I guess. go. And now it's basically a completely invisible seam. So I'm going to leave this yarn tail here for a little bit until I get the body going. You can sink this yarn tail into the head if you'd like to. I personally like to tie my yarn tails together and then have everything tied in a nice little bow. So I'm just gonna leave this here and we'll get going on the body. All right, so we are going to be adding the body. The body starts in blue, so keep your blue yarn around. We're going to be stitching into the bottom of the head, and we are going to start between rounds 10 and 11 at the bottom, and then move into rounds 9 and 10. So what that looks like, holding your head upside down. Let's find our magic ring, so that is round 1, and we're gonna count back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So in between, right? In between is where we're going to be placing our stitches. Now I'm just going to rotate back the other way. Here we go. So still between the same stitches, but facing this direction. Now I want to find the centered 3 stitches along the bottom. Looks like these ones, 1, 2, 3, to the face, because that's where my neck is going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and insert into the first one. Okay, so that is where my first stitch is going to be. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to move into the next forward round and do 1, 2, 3. So this is what it looks like. Okay, chain 1 to secure. And go back into the same stitch and do a single crochet into the next stitch, single crochet, and then again into the next stitch, single crochet. So I have 3 stitches now between rounds 10 and 11. Now I'm gonna bring the head around, just gonna face me now, and I'm gonna place 3 stitches into basically just the stitches that are stacked on top, okay, in the next round up. So it looks like this. Oops. Okay, right there. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we have 6 stitches at the bottom. You can see here that my neck is centered to my eyes. That's exactly what we want. Now it's also really important that you guys started the first stitch exactly where I placed mine, so on the bottom, like right hand corner. Otherwise, when we're doing the pattern, I have that lined up so that all of these color changes along the chest will be centered to the face. So if you guys accidentally started in the wrong spot on the head and thought, oh, don't worry about it, please go back, take it out, and start in the exact same spot. Otherwise, your chest stitches won't line up, okay? So now I'm just gonna go ahead, this is how I secure all my tails. So remember how I said that I left this one at the back? So I'm just gonna go ahead and just sink it into the head, right into the center of where I've done those stitches there. Okay, so now this yarn tail is in the body. And all I'm really going to be doing is tying these together in a knot. I'm going to loop this guy just through a stitch, just one time, so it can't be pulled on from the outside. And then we will just knot it. And if you didn't think that was paranoid enough, I actually add another knot with the 2 together. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to snip this. You don't have to because it's just going to be inside the body, but I want it gone. Okay, so that is that. And let's get going. So we've done round 1, and now we're going to start round 2. So round 2 is now going to be worked in, actually all of the rest of the body is going to be working half double crochet. Okay, so half double crochet increases starting in that first stitch. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Your last stitch is kind of somewhere near like the front side of the head. It's perfect. Round 3, we're going to do half double crochet 1, and then half double crochet increase. And we're going to do that 3 times. And on that last half double crochet of the increase, we're going to do a color change. So we do that color change by starting your half double crochet to the point where you've got the 3 loops on your hook, right? Normally you yarn over and pull through. But instead of doing that, we're going to introduce our yellow. So we'll get that in there. Our yellow is what we're going to use to pull through the stitch. Okay, just like that. And then go ahead and tie off the strands together. Don't cut off your blue. We're just going to be going back and forth with it. Okay. So our yellow is attached now, and our blue is also still attached, okay? So working with the yellow, we're going to do half double crochet 1, half double crochet increase, and on that last stitch of the increase, we're going to go back to blue. So bring that blue over and pull through. And we're going to be doing that kind of color change through the whole body. So every time we do a color change, don't fasten off. You don't need to. I mean, you can if you want to, but you don't need to until the very end. Okay, so keep both working yarns there. So back to blue, half double crochet 1, half double crochet increase, okay, and half double crochet 1, and on that one, color change to yellow, and half double crochet increase. Yes, I know the yellow is not even. We'll even it out at the beginning of the next round. So that's what we look like, okay? So you can see that our color changes are nice and centered to the face. Okay, that was why it was really important to keep our starting stitch at the back there. So let's keep going. We're going to go to round 4. So keeping with the yellow, we do half double crochet 1, and then we're going to do our color change. So on that half double crochet, bring back the blue, okay, blue, half double crochet 1, half double crochet increase, then half double crochet 2, half double crochet increase, repeat that again, so 2 more, 1, 2 half double crochet, and 1 more of the increases. Okay, so now we're back at the yellow. So we're going to do a half double crochet 2. And on that last one there, we're going to go back to yellow. Now with our yellow being all the way on the other side of the body, totally fine. I bring it over, okay, we'll just bring it in, do the color change. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give myself enough slack inside the body where I can kind of crochet over top of it, so it just kind of carries it along the back, but doesn't cinch the body at all. Okay, all that really does is just make sure that it is actually secured within the stitches. If you don't end up crocheting over it and just kind of go around and let this hang in the center, if a child were to play with it, they could actually pull some of the stitches out really long because you've got a lot of slack here, right? So you do want to secure it at least a little bit. Okay, so I do that by doing my stitch like this. So keep that tail underneath it. Okay, so you can see I've actually gone over it completely. So I'm gonna do that a few times. So now that we've changed to yellow, so this stitch is actually an increase. Okay, half double crochet 2. Okay, and that would be enough to secure it. I'm happy with that. I'm not gonna go over this yellow anymore. Okay. Oh, sorry, in that last stitch, so in the yellow, we've done half double crochet increase and 2. That last one is actually a color change back to blue. So let's back out of that. Okay. We're gonna do a half double crochet increase in the blue, and on that last stitch, go back to yellow. Okay, and then half double crochet 2, half double crochet increase. On that last stitch, we'll go back to blue. There we go. Okay. Round number 5, I can see I'm all twisty here, so I'm just gonna spin it around a few times and get rid of that twist. There we go. So in the blue, we're going to do half double crochet 16. Okay, on that last, on the 16th stitch, do yellow. Okay, and since we're making a bit of a jump again, make sure you've got enough slack inside the body where you can do a couple stitches over top of it. We're gonna do half double crochet 7 in yellow. I'm gonna carry that blue over as well. There we go. So 7 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back to blue. Okay, and what part are we at here? Oops, half double crochet 1. Okay, good. So starting round 6, we're gonna start with half double crochet 3, and then increase, half double crochet increase, and repeat that 4 times. Okay, so now we will go ahead and do half double crochet 2 and change to the yellow. Okay, in the yellow we'll do half double crochet 1, half double crochet increase, and half double crochet 1. Okay, we'll go ahead and we will change our color back to blue. And we can go ahead there and tie our colors together. I guess you fasten off the yellow first. I made a mistake doing this section earlier today, so I actually already snipped this and then frogged it, and then here we are again. There we go. Okay, fasten off yellow. We won't need it again, so you can put it away. And the last stitches are half double crochet 2 and half double crochet increase. Okay, so that's where we're at. We have our chest piece done. We are smooth sailing from here. So that was all the complicated stuff. You guys got through the head and you guys got through all the color changes. So great job. Round 7 and 8 are both half double crochet around. Okay, so round 9, we're going to start bringing the body in at the bottom. So we're going to start tapering. We're going to start with a half double crochet 3. And then a half double crochet increase. Do your increase however you like. I'll show you how I do mine. So I start a half double crochet, insert, pull up a loop, and then insert into the next and pull up a loop. So now I've got 4 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through. And then when I come back around at them the next time around, I don't insert into the top, I insert under this bar right here, just like how I work the decreases for single crochet. And then when you do that, it's completely hidden. Okay, so let's repeat that around. 3 half double crochet, half double crochet and decrease. Round 10 is half double crochet 2, half double crochet decrease, and repeat that all the way around. Now, just like I mentioned, when we come up to that decrease spot here, so when you insert into it, don't insert into the gap, insert underneath that bar. And that's what it looks like when it's done. It just looks like a proper half double crochet, completely hidden and not gappy. Alrighty. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start the legs in the next rounds here. I'm going to just kind of set the stage. Just get rid of the stitch marker. You don't need it right now. And what we're going to do is we're just going to add some stitches to take us to the center of the back. Now, it doesn't have to be exact just yet because we are going to find the placement of the feet with some stitch markers afterwards, and we can adjust, take away stitches, add stitches as we need them. So this is just kind of like a rough movement just to get us back there. Okay, that looks to be about the center of the back to me, so that's fine. Probably end up adding another stitch or two. So let's just pull up that loop for now, and we'll grab some extra stitch markers. You're going to need 4 of them, and we will make the legs. Okay, so I have gone ahead and grabbed 4 stitch markers, laying the body flat. Okay, we are going to find the center stitches that kind of line up with the chest here. Okay, so I found basically my 2 center stitches here. So move out 1. Okay, so I've got 4 center stitches. We're gonna mark the ones adjacent to that. Okay, so I'm gonna just mark that one with marker there. Okay, with a 4 stitch gap, 1, 2, 3, 4, go back to the other side. So keep in mind again, so we found the center 2 stitches, we moved them out 1, so now we have a center 4 stitches, and we marked the adjacent. That's where the feet are gonna go, and it has a bit of a gap in between the legs, okay? Now let's go ahead and we'll mark the rest of the stitches per leg. Each leg has 5 stitches, so including the marked one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? On the other side, including the marked one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's it. So when we look at it from the front, okay, this is what it looks like. You have 5 marked stitches on the ends and 4 stitches not marked on the front and the back. Perfect. It's actually kind of funny. Totally eyeballed this perfectly. This is exactly where you want your working stitch to be. So when we worked all of our extra stitches to get to the back, if you are not right in front of the first marked stitch in this corner here, go ahead and work extra half double crochet to get here. If you went too far, just take some out until you're at this one, okay? So we're going to start our first leg. Our first leg is going to be only worked in between these 5 marked stitches, okay? So we're going to do round 1 is single crochet increase 5 times. Now this is going to be the new starting of the round, so mark that stitch again, okay? Last increase will go into this marked stitch. You can get rid of that marker, you won't need it anymore. Okay, so that's what we look like. Now round 2 is going to be starting in this marked stitch. So what that looks like is we're going to be creating a little miniature round right here. There we go. It's going to look like that. So forget about all these other stitches for now. We'll worry about them later. For now, we're just going to come back starting in this marked stitch. We're going to do single crochet 4, and then an increase, and we will work that 2 times. So another 4 and then an increase. Okay, round 3, single crochet 2, and then decrease, and repeat that around. And then just in case you're paying close attention, you notice I changed my technique for the decreases on the feet. Since this is a snuggly body, I'm not worried about keeping fluff inside because we're not stuffing the body or the feet or anything. All I'm doing for my increase here is just insert, pull up a loop, insert, pull up a loop, and yarn over. If I did it the other way where I kind of yarn over and create the fake stitch underneath to, you know, lessen the gaps, it just makes the feet just a little bit more stiff. And I don't really want the stiff toes on the snuggler body. I want it to be nice and pliable, so I've kept the stitching quite loose. Okay, round 4, we're going to do single crochet 1, decrease all the way around. And that is it for that foot. So let's go ahead and fasten off. Give yourself a decent tail to work with. I'm about maybe 10 inches here. Okay, and I'm gonna just actually leave this here for now. I'm gonna come back and tie in all of these ends together so I can show you a little bit more clearly how I do that. So let's go ahead, let's finish the other foot first. So I'm going to work on the stitch marker along the front of the body. Okay, so we are going to attach yarn. Give yourself a good tail on this as well, maybe about 12 inches, something like that. Okay, chain 1 to secure. And we're gonna work this leg the exact same way as the first leg. So round 1, right, is a single crochet increase all the way around. I'm just going to go ahead and show you how we join those up again. And then I'm going to speed up the video since it's exactly the same way as the first leg. Okay, so we are going to create a circle. And we're going to start our next round, round number 2, in that first stitch that we just made. Okay, and I will meet you right back here. Alrighty, so we are just finished here. Gonna go ahead, trim off this tail here, fasten off. So this is where we're at. We have 2 feet and lots of yarn tails. So let's go ahead. Doesn't matter what foot you start with. So we are going to close the feet the exact same way that we closed the head. So these are single crochet stitches and decreases. I'm gonna go ahead and just pick up the front top loop, okay, of each of these single crochets. And for the technique that I do on my decreases, I'm gonna pick up these 2 front loops here. Okay, there isn't really a right way or a wrong way. I could just pick up 1 loop. It just gives a little bit of a different look when it's closed. Just pick whichever way that you like the look of. A little bit of trial and error. Okay, cinch it up. That's what we get. Okay, and I am going to circle around that magic ring as well. So go all the way around. Ooh, I'm not sure what that sound was. It's starting to get a little stormy outside. I think something's rattling around the outside of the studio. Here we go. Okay, so that is basically all I'm going to do for this. I'm going to sink the yarn tail inside the body and just kind of pull it out through this gap between the feet. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to speed it up. I'm going to tie, secure this leg as well. And then I'm just going to tie the yarn tails together inside the body so that they are not going to fall apart. Okay, so I've gone ahead, secured both feet here. I'm just going to tie them together. You don't have to do this. If you prefer to secure your ends by weaving them back and forth in the stitches and everything, you can totally do that as well. I'm always paranoid about my stuff coming undone, so I try to make it as industrial as possible. And in my head, this is the way to do it. So I tied in a knot. I made the knot quite loose so the feet can still spread apart and everything and can still be played with properly. And give it one of these knots as well. Okay, so I'm going to trim one of these tails. I'll show you why. Because like I said, I like to tie everything off in a nice little bow. So I'm just going to sink this yarn tail into the body and pull it back up through one of these stitches somewhere here. I'm going to use that yarn tail to tie off against this one. So this is the one we're going to sew up the gap between the legs. So however you would like to do it, I kind of start working through the stitches in the feet and then come down to the stitches along the body. I like to give each stitch, basically each stitch of the body 2 loops with the thread, just so that it doesn't snap. By accident, with rough play, you know? Did I mention yet that I like my toys to be indestructible? Ooh, we are getting a nice storm outside. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear pitter patter of rain through the recording, but that's what I'm experiencing right now. Okay, so that's what we're looking like here. Now I'm just gonna kind of weave this in and out until I come up to this yarn tail here. So we'll go through a round of stitches across the front. Making sure not to pull it too snug so that it doesn't end up cinching the body any. Okay, we'll come up to this round. Okay, that's good. And I'm just gonna pull it through here now. That's the other yarn tail off the part of the knot. And we'll tie this off as well. Turn that off. All right, there we are. Head, body, feet. Now we're getting pretty close. We're definitely over halfway. Now we have some arms, tail, and spikes to do. I think we're going to go ahead and do the arms next. So let's get back with our blue yarn and we'll get going. So for the arms, in our blue yarn, start with our magic circle again. We are going to do 5 half double crochet into the ring. Pull that shut. Rounds 2 to 4 are just going to be half double crochet around. So that's this one here. But after round 2, I'm going to go ahead and just secure my yarn tail. So let's do round 2 together. Okay, secure that tail. You don't want to wait too long to secure that tail, otherwise it gets really hard to turn your work in or right side out. Okay, that's a little bit long. I'm just going to trim it. Let's get this going the right way out. Perfect. And now we'll do rounds 3 and 4 as half double crochet around. And then round 5, we'll do half double crochet 3 and then half double crochet decrease. And that's it. Let's cut a tail. Maybe about 10 inches. That kind of seems to be the go-to number here. Fasten that off. And we're gonna go ahead and make a second arm. Looking at either side of the body, I'm going to start on this side first. We are going to find the outermost yellow stitch, so that's one's here. We're going to sew the arm onto basically the 2 stitches that surround it right above on round 2. Okay, so I'm going to insert my needle to this one first. And I'm going to go through both stitches twice. The arms obviously get a lot of playtime and they're being snuggled, and we definitely don't want the yarn snapping and the arms falling off. So everything gets 2 stitches. Here we go. So that is what our first arm looks like. I'm just gonna go ahead and sink this yarn tail into the body and pulling it up somewhere in the back. Surprise, surprise, we're gonna leave it and tie it off with the yarn tail from the other arm. Now, since this is my second time doing this on camera, I made a mistake earlier. I've already gone ahead and just sewn these stitches together, just like I just showed you, okay? And we are going to do the same thing on this side. So we find the outermost yellow, and we're going to sew onto the 2 stitches that surround it in round 2. So we'll go into this one first. And of course, the 2 stitches each. Okay, sink it into the back and tie these out together. Careful not to cinch them tight. You don't want to be pulling the body in towards each other. You don't want that tension, right, on the yarn. Just enough that it can't be pulled loose. Okay. Give it its final knot there. And I'm going to go ahead, bring these yarn tails in together into the body. Maybe. There we are. Trim the tails. Smooth it out, and that's where we're at. Pretty cute. Oh, I guess you can't really see it very well. There we are. Okay. Got our head, our arms, everything is centered to the belly and the legs. Let's go ahead and do the tail. For the tail, again, we're in blue. starting to play a little bit of yarn chicken with this color, but I think I'm gonna end up being okay. So with the tail for round 1, we have our magic ring again, and we are going to start with half double crochet 5. Okay, round 2, start with half double crochet 4. Grab our stitch marker again. And then in the last stitch, we'll work in half double crochet increase. Okay, favorite thing to do, secure our yarn tail. I was joking about that. That is not my favorite thing to do. I always feel like it slows me down. I'm like already on a roll with all the stitching, and then I have to come back and sew all this back together again. But of course it's worth it. We don't want it coming apart after putting all the work in to make it. Okay. And we'll flip this the right way out. And I'm gonna trim that a little bit shorter just for the video so it's not in the way. Okay, round 3, half double crochet 1, half double crochet increase, and repeat around. Round 4, half double crochet 2, half double crochet increase, round 5, half double crochet 3, and then we're going to be doing 6 half double crochet increases in a row. And then half double crochet 3. And that's it. Let's finish that with a slip stitch and give ourselves a nice long tail for sewing. Okay, this is about how much I've given myself here, so maybe about 24 inches it looks like. It's probably a little excessive, but I'd rather have too much than not enough, you know? Got a knot in here somehow. that's what we have. Let's go ahead and sew that onto the body. Okay, so for positioning, I would like to have the bottom of the tail coming down to about here, the second last row or round of the body. And I would like the tail to kind of reach comfortably, looks like in here. So I'm gonna mark that as well and then give you the round number. So we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So between 6 and 7. Okay, all the way down to the bottom. Okay, now the 6 increases that we just did, where are they here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is at the top of the tail, so that's what's going to be sewn up here. Okay, so if you need to mark things with markers, or if you've got those sticks that kind of put it all together, you can do that, or you can just kind of eyeball it. Totally up to you, but that curve going up the spine does go on the back. Okay, and then of course our stitch down here is just going to get sewn right in, right off the bat. Just be mindful as you're sewing this together that it's like I have mine pressed into the table so it's not moving around, but make sure that you're only sewing through this one section of the body and not going all the way to the belly. I know that those crochet sticks that everybody uses for help positioning for sewing and stuff, I know that they look like they could be really handy and stuff. They are just not for me. They look really trendy. They look beautiful in pictures. I've seen them in videos, you know, people are using them to sew everything together. But I just kind of find that they're in the way. I don't know how you guys feel about them. Maybe everybody watching this video is using crochet sticks right now. So sorry if that's you. Okay, we're looking good. Maybe it would be more handy if you were sewing like a head onto a body kind of thing. I can see that being helpful. I kind of purposely design all my patterns so you don't have to sew the heads on because I find that really stressful, to be honest with you, sewing the heads on, because I find that I always do it wrong the first time and then you got to take it apart and do it again. And I am just not for doing the same thing twice, you know? But that's me. Okay, we are getting to the top here, looking good. We are right where we need to be. I'm going to go ahead and remove that marker now. We are right where we said we were going to be. Okay, that's how we're looking. Things look great. Now I'm going to go ahead. I don't have a yarn tail to sew this one off against. Boo-hoo. So we'll just go ahead and we'll do it the old-fashioned way. So I'm just going to go ahead and zigzag this, kind of in like a circle pattern through a couple stitches here so that it can't just be pulled apart. You could do this on the tail as well. And I'm just gonna do it through the body. Tail's gonna get a little bit busy when we add all the spikes in there. Oh, I just realized I won yarn chicken as well. You guys want to see how much was left? I didn't even notice when I snipped it. That's what was left for making the tail. That's hilarious. I was worried about it when I started, then I totally forgot about it. But yay, that's great. It's pretty funny actually. Okay, there we go. So if you're paying attention to how I was doing it, I basically just went around in a circle here and then went back around the circle again. So you can't pull on that anywhere on the tail and have this come undone. So happy with how that looks. We will sink this yarn tail and then never worry about it again. Scissors. There we go. So now you have cute little tail, and we're gonna go ahead and finish this up now. Let's grab our red yarn and we will work on the spikes. Now for working the spikes, we're going to be grabbing our red yarn. Now you can see here, one that I've already done, all of these spikes are separated. They're worked completely on their own. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing. Basically, you can position your spikes however you want them to be, depending on how you've attached your tail, right? So if you attached your tail exactly like mine and you started in the exact same rows, then it's gonna look exactly like mine. If you've shifted your tail up or down, or maybe you've squished it so like they're not so spread apart, right? You can adjust how your spikes end up so that they still have a nice little look. Basically, you want your first spike to start right at the base of the neck, and you want your last spike to be right at the bottom of the tail. So here we go. Let's start with our first. Our first spike is going to go right into round 2 in the center of the back. So you can see here that we are centered between the arms. Okay, let's add our red yarn. Give yourself a little bit of a tail just because you are going to be tying ends together. And we will chain 1 to secure. Into the same stitch, we're going to work a single crochet, half double crochet, and then we are going to be doing a picot 2. I call it a picot 2. It's probably some kind of modified picot, but I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to do a chain 2. Oops, there we go. Chain 2. And then in the second chain from the hook, there's this little back loop right here. That's what we're going to be working into. You're going to insert into that back little loop and do a slip stitch. And all that doesn't have to be super tight, there we go, is makes this little tiny spike at the tip there, okay? And then in the stitch right under the one where we've been working into, we're going to do a half double crochet. Oops. And a single crochet. And then you've guessed it, a slip stitch. Okay, and then we will fasten off. Just a little tail. We're not sewing anything in, we're just going to be tying knots together. And that is our first spike. That's what that looks like. And from the back, that's what that looks like as well. I'm just kind of move that around a little bit. Okay, now let's do again in the stitch just directly under where we have fastened off. So we're going to go into this stitch here. Okay, we're going to do the exact same thing that we just did with the first one. Okay, that's number 2 done. Now before you guys ask, can we do the spikes together because it's so tedious having to tie off every single time? Yes, you could. I was playing around with lots of different ideas, but I couldn't find a nice way to connect these 2 spikes without them looking really bulky in the middle. I like this like look in between where it is its own spike. You know what I mean? Because when you look at Totodile, the spikes are solitary, like they just kind of go on their own and they're not connected by this big ridge. So could you do it? Yes. Did I make it difficult for you? Maybe a little bit, sorry. This one, it looks like I'm working between the tail and the body. Totally fine, just keep working as you would. Do the exact same thing, attaching the yarn, and then moving down to the next stitch. So my second stitch will be somewhere around here in the tail, okay? Okay. Good. That's how we're looking. 3. The last one, like I said, is a little bit different for everybody. It looks like for me, I'm just gonna have a 1 stitch gap and I'm gonna be working in these 2 stitches here. So again, just making sure that you are still centered in the back. Looks like I did one that was a little bit not centered. I kind of zigzagged a little bit down, but it's fine. I'm not gonna take it apart. Here we go for the last one. Okay, and that's where we're at. So for tying in all of the ends on the other side here, all I'm gonna be doing, I'll show you on the very tip here, is I'm just going to seat the ends inside the body and tie them together in a knot, basically, and then just sink them. So there's one. I know it's a little bit tedious, but it does give it a really nice polished look at the end. Like each little spine was individual or like intentional, you know. Okay, so that's what it looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and repeat that for all of the spikes. Okay, friends, we did it. I'm gonna put it sideways so you can see. So we have an adorable little head. We've got this beautiful little chest plate, cute arms, little dangly toes, and on the back, there we go, beautiful spikes. Hey, they turned out awesome. So you can see here where if you were to attach your tail just a little bit differently than mine, then your scale or your little spikies might be spaced out a little bit differently at the bottom. But there really isn't that much leeway where you're gonna see something on much different, so it should look pretty similar to this. Anyways, yay! I hope you love him. Thank you for following along. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I appreciate you. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.